Airplanes might be the fastest way to travel, but they're also filled with unspoken rules and annoyances. Did you know that 1 in 3 passengers say they've had a bad experience because of another traveler's behavior? That's a huge number. In fact, over 60% of flight delays are caused by issues in the cabin. Things like overcrowded overhead bins or loud passengers. But don't worry, we're here to help you avoid these common mistakes and make your next flight more comfortable. In this video, we'll share 6 things you should never do on an airplane. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or new to flying, these tips will save you from awkward moments, uncomfortable situations, and even conflict with your fellow passengers. Get ready for some surprising facts, handy tricks, and rules you might never have thought of. Let's jump in. Chapter 1. The Seat Recline Dilemma. Should you or shouldn't you? Reclining your seat can seem like a simple move, but it often causes tension between passengers. If you've ever been on a flight and had someone recline their seat right after takeoff, you know how it feels to lose your precious legroom. Studies have shown that nearly 40% of passengers believe reclining seats are inconsiderate, according to a 2019 survey by Skyscanner. So, is it fair game to recline? Here's the deal. Yes, you can recline, but do it thoughtfully. Before you lean back, check if the person behind you is working, eating, or watching something. Reclining mid-meal is a quick way to make enemies. And don't forget to look at the seat behind you. If you're tall, this may not even be an option for you without hitting the person behind. A simple strategy to avoid issues is to gently ask the person behind you if they're okay with you reclining your seat. It's a small gesture but goes a long way. According to travel expert Samantha Brown, the golden rule is to never recline without considering how it affects the person behind you. If reclining your seat doesn't create a comfortable experience for everyone, it's worth waiting until after the meal service when passengers are more relaxed. Remember, you're all in this cramped space together, and small courtesies make a big difference. A 2018 study from the University of Michigan found that conflicts over seat reclining often stem from passengers' misunderstandings about how personal space is perceived on flights. The closer the seats, the more likely the tension. So, while reclining might feel like you're right, it's essential to practice it in moderation. Use this simple tip. If you need the space to sleep or relax, try reclining only during nap time when it's least disruptive. Chapter 2. Bathroom Horror. Avoiding the terrifying turbulence trap. We've all been there. You've had a few drinks, the check engine light of your bladder is flashing, and it's time to make the dreaded trek to the airplane bathroom. But what if turbulence strikes as you're standing in the aisle? According to a 2017 study by the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, turbulence is responsible for over 500 injuries each year. While the seatbelt sign is on, it's crucial to stay seated, but what about when you really need to go? The best strategy is to plan ahead. Before the flight, try to use the restroom, even if you don't feel an immediate need. By doing so, you lower your chances of being caught in an unexpected turbulence situation. But what if you absolutely must go? First, wait until the turbulence passes. If you can't, avoid the restroom during the initial ascent and descent. These are the moments when turbulence is most likely to strike. The more predictable the flight, the better your chances of a smooth bathroom trip, says Dr. Thomas K. March, a travel safety expert. If you're traveling during a busy period, be sure to check if the aisle is clear before making your move. Another tip. If you're worried about navigating the tiny space, don't wear tight clothing. Opt for stretchy, comfortable fabrics. You'll need the extra room, especially if you're squeezing into a cramped space while balancing. And always be courteous, leave the restroom clean for others. According to an informal survey conducted by Travel Plus Leisure, 25% of people report airplane bathrooms as the least favorite part of their flying experience, citing overcrowding and unsanitary conditions. Lastly, if you can, avoid strong perfumes or scented body products right before using the restroom. These can worsen the smell, which can be especially unpleasant in an enclosed space. The airplane bathroom should be a quick stop, handle business and get out. Chapter 3. The in-flight fashion faux pas. Dress codes for comfort and style. What you wear on a flight can make all the difference between a comfy journey and an uncomfortable one. The key to in-flight fashion is comfort, but you don't have to sacrifice style. Tight jeans and stiff clothing can make your legs feel sore after just a couple of hours in the air. Instead, opt for breathable fabrics like cotton, linen, or stretchy materials. A 2020 survey from Travel Fashion Girl found that 78% of frequent flyers prefer loose-fitting clothing for long flights. But it's not just about feeling good, it's about being prepared. Layering is essential for regulating your body temperature. Airplanes can go from freezing to warm, and layers help you adjust without much hassle. A simple cardigan or hoodie goes a long way, says travel influencer Jessica Stein. These layers are also handy when you need to cover up for a little extra privacy while sleeping. Footwear is another important consideration. Flip-flops may be easy to slip off, but they can leave your feet exposed to all sorts of germs in the shared spaces of an airplane. A comfortable pair of slip-on sneakers or flats that are easy to remove when going through security is the ideal choice. Don't forget socks, either. Cold floors can make your feet uncomfortable, and airplane socks can help with circulation. And let's talk about accessories. Avoid anything too bulky that could annoy your fellow passengers. A large handbag can take up precious space in the overhead bin, and jewelry may get caught on the seatbelt or armrest. Instead, consider a small, well-organized crossbody bag. It's functional, stylish, and ensures you're not wrestling with heavy bags during the flight. When you pack for your flight, remember that the goal is to feel relaxed and at ease, no matter how long you're in the air. Comfort is your best travel companion, but you can still dress with style. Just make sure to think ahead and choose clothes that will keep you comfortable, especially during those long hours when the seatbelt sign stays on. Chapter 4. Noisy neighbors. How to keep the peace in your row. Airplane cabins can be noisy places, and that's before you even start dealing with the loud passenger next to you. According to a 2017 study by the International Air Transport Association, IATA, noise is one of the top complaints passengers have during flights. Whether it's constant talking, loud laughter, or even snoring, sound can make the experience unbearable. So, what can you do? First, always be mindful of how your actions affect others. If you're traveling with someone, try to keep your voices down, especially when others are trying to sleep. The golden rule is to respect the shared space you're in. A great strategy for managing noise is investing in a quality pair of noise-canceling headphones. Studies show that noise-canceling headphones can reduce the level of ambient sound by up to 25 decibels, making a world of difference when you're trying to concentrate or nap. But if you're not in the mood to block out the world entirely, earplugs are a great, budget-friendly alternative. They help reduce background noise while still allowing you to hear important announcements from the flight crew. Sometimes, noise isn't just about volume, it's about the content. If someone next to you is talking loudly or arguing, politely ask them to lower their voices. It's important to remain courteous but firm. A 2018 survey from Air Travel Consumer Report found that 32% of passengers had felt disturbed by loud conversations during flights. And if you find yourself in a situation where someone is snoring loudly, consider using your call button to notify the flight attendants. They're trained to handle delicate situations like this. Lastly, if you're the one making noise, be considerate. Remember that you're not the only one in the cabin, and everyone has their own preferences when it comes to peace and quiet. Following simple noise etiquette goes a long way in creating a more enjoyable flying experience for all. Chapter 5. The food fiasco. What not to bring on board. We've all been there. You're on a long flight and decide to bring some snacks to make the journey easier. But certain foods are best left behind. Strong-smelling foods, like fish or overly spicy snacks, can make the entire cabin uncomfortable. A 2021 study by American Airlines found that the most common in-flight complaint is strong food odors. To avoid becoming that passenger, keep your snacks mild. Think of nuts, granola bars, or fruit slices. They're easy to pack and won't disturb your fellow travelers. It's also a good idea to avoid messy foods, such as sandwiches with sauces or anything that could spill. According to an article in the Journal of Air Transport Management, passengers often report difficulty eating foods that require constant handling or cleanup while in flight. If you've ever spilled ketchup on your seat or dripped mayo on your lap, you know how frustrating it can be. Choose food that's compact, easy to eat, and, most importantly, doesn't require a lot of cleanup. Another food to avoid is anything that's too noisy to eat. Crunchy snacks like chips or pretzels can disrupt the peaceful atmosphere of the flight. A 2018 survey from Travel Plus Leisure revealed that 24% of passengers said eating loud snacks made them feel uncomfortable. To avoid becoming a source of noise pollution, opt for snacks that are soft or easy to munch without drawing attention. Don't forget about beverages, either. While it's tempting to bring a large bottle of soda or juice, these can spill easily during turbulence. It's better to purchase beverages from the in-flight service. These drinks are often served in small, spill-proof containers, making them easier to manage. If you must bring your own drink, stick to a bottle with a secure cap. Finally, be mindful of how your food affects others. Don't be the passenger who opens a bag of spicy chips in the middle of a flight and forces the whole cabin to deal with the smell. Thoughtful snack choices will make everyone's journey more enjoyable. Chapter 6. Overhead Baggage Blunders. Avoiding the space struggle. Packing light is key when it comes to overhead bin space. According to a 2019 study by the International Air Transport Association, nearly 50% of delays are caused by passengers struggling to fit their bags into overhead compartments. So, how do you avoid this? Start by packing smarter. Stick to a carry-on that meets the airline's size restrictions. Packing cubes can be a lifesaver, helping you maximize space while keeping everything organized. When it comes to overhead bin etiquette, it's important to know the unspoken rules. The best strategy is to place your bag in the overhead compartment above your seat. If you're sitting in a window seat, consider placing your bag in the compartment above the aisle seats if there's more room. This helps avoid blocking others' access to their bags. And remember, don't hoard space. Make sure you don't use the entire bin for just your items, leaving no space for other passengers' carry-ons. If you have a large bag, check the weight before heading to the airport. Many airlines have strict weight limits for carry-on luggage, and exceeding them can result in extra fees. According to a 2020 survey from TripAdvisor, 18% of travelers reported getting charged for overweight carry-ons during their flights. If your bag is too heavy, consider moving some of its contents into your personal item, like a backpack or handbag, to balance the weight. It's also essential to be mindful of when you board the plane. If you're one of the last passengers to board, you're more likely to run into problems finding overhead space. To avoid this, board as early as possible, or consider using priority boarding if available. While it may cost a bit more, having a guaranteed spot for your bag is worth it, especially on crowded flights. Finally, be respectful of others' space. If you have a small item that can fit under your seat, use the space there instead of taking up precious overhead room. Remember, your fellow travelers are also trying to make the most of limited space. By following these simple strategies, you'll contribute to a more organized, efficient boarding process for everyone. If you found these tips helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button. You won't want to miss more travel hacks that will make your flights smoother and stress-free. Thanks for watching.